Okay, everybody, good morning. Hope everybody's well. Happy Thursday for those that are here live. For those that are here at any time, thanks so much for joining us. We've been talking a lot about this idea of enthusiasm, zeal, alacrity. The concept, the word in Hebrew is called zirizut. And one of the things that I think we misperceive, is that we think that in order to have enthusiasm, to have this level of zeal, we've got to feel it. It's not true. We don't have to feel anything. Feeling is a gift. You can't rely on feeling to walk into something that you have to do and do it with enthusiasm. One of the great reasons why so many of us are not as successful, and I don't mean successful like money, I mean productive and accomplished in the things that matter. Our life has I believe, has less to do with our talents, has less to do with our abilities, and more to do with our perspective and our approach to the things that we're doing. Enthusiasm is a choice. Whether we feel it, whether we don't feel it, whether we're in a good mood or in a bad mood, whether we're tired, whether, we're a little off, all that stuff. I ate enough, I didn't eat enough, it's Thursday afternoon, it's Monday morning, all that stuff that is now part of our way of seeing the world. I used to, people would drag in Monday morning. Just drag in. How's your day? Here we go again. That whole mentality, that whole post-Labor Day, for those that are in America listening to this, that post-Labor Day, drag. It's made up. It's not real. We don't really have to live this way. We don't really have to be primed all the time to bring enthusiasm into our lives. We don't really have to drag out of bed in the morning to take care of our responsibilities and to be appreciative of our lives and to be appreciative of the challenges that are in front of us. We just condition ourselves that way because we somehow believe that the way the world makes me feel is going to be an indicator of how I feel back to the world. And as soon as we stop making that connection, we can actually work on something. We can work on the fact that what I am getting myself in front of, it deserves my full attention, my full enthusiasm, regardless of what I was made to feel until now. That's a distinction that is the difference between the manifestation of how I feel and an actual trait. Because a trait that we have is a muscle that we have that we need to employ when it is called for, not when I'm in the mood for. So let's break it down. What does this actually mean? There's two concepts to enthusiasm. Right? It's like taking Advil. Advil, if you go to the pharmacy and you look for medication usually has one or two advertisements on the box. Either it's fast acting or it's maximum strength. You ever see these two lines? I think Jerry Seinfeld speaks about this. I don't know if you could find, Andy, the Jerry Seinfeld bit for those that are with me live, but it's awesome. Fast acting. I think he speaks about maximum strength. What does that mean, maximum strength? Any more and what I would die? What is the maximum strength? What is going on over here? These two concepts that you see in medication, fast acting and maximum strength, are really the two elements of enthusiasm. If you break down what it is, that is the traits of zeal. What does that mean? Zeal, right? Is it I speak louder? Is it that I smile more? What is it that I am doing to enable me? Oh, he got it already. Andy got it already. For those who want the Seinfeld clip on this. What is it that I'm doing that brings me towards what is called zeal? So above it all is the perspective, right? It's what I bring to the table. It's the mentality that I go with and that I go into. If everyone's ever been anywhere early in the morning, like really early in the morning, you ever got on a 6 a.m. flight with a team, you ever did a show or woke up with a kid or did anything, got on a road trip, whatever you've done, and it was so early that it was really night. The difference between that person who is like dragging and the person who is still tired but is upbeat is the difference between having zeal and not. So there's a mentality involved. But if we break it down to two pieces, what we find is that on a daily basis, there's two things that are at the core of zeal: fast acting, maximum strength. Let's break them down. What does fast acting mean? So many times in life, we're given opportunities and they present themselves. And as they present themselves, there's usually, if the opportunity is worth something, some challenge packaged around it. Usually, if you have a chance to do something meaningful, it's packaged in challenge. It doesn't have to be negative, it's challenge. Right? If you want to start a company, it's hard. If you want to raise a family, it's hard. If you want to find your soulmate, it's hard. If you want to lose weight, it's hard. If you want to be more spiritual, it's hard. So when I mean challenge, I don't mean like you're going down the road and someone says something negative to you. I'm talking about when you want to accomplish things, usually, almost always, the thing that you have to do next, the next step in the road, is packaged in some level of physical, emotional, and mental investment. Now, here's the trick. Many times in life, the things that bring us the most benefit are things that are unintended. You weren't anticipating them, but they came at us packaged in challenge. There's a concept in spirituality, I'll say it in Hebrew and I'll translate, called keheref ayin. There's an idea that redemption, God brings redemption to people through a concept like a blink of an eye. Keheref ayin. An ayin is an eye. And what that means is that usually, I would even say more than usually, I would say almost always, if you really break down the moments in your life that change things for the better, they come at a time that is unanticipated. And even if you break it down to like the moments, right? Like you thought, even if it was in 5 minutes, it comes at a different time. You can never really predict the things that happen to you that could be the best for you. And when you really delve into it deeper, if you look back in your life today and just look at some of the things that you're most proud of or has given you the most benefit, let's say, and you trace it to its origin, usually it was even unintended. You didn't know where it was coming from. You didn't really see the opportunity. And you worked and worked and worked, and you're going down this path. And as you're going down this path, this little hole opens up, and like you just end up here, and then you end up here, and then you end up here. Like, how did I get this job? Well, I was doing this for many years, and then this person called, and how did I find that person? Well, I was, doing this, and then a friend of mine from college. Like, this happens all the time in our lives. That the things that bring us a lot of good comes out of the right and the left of our path. It's not in front of us. And even if the right and left are nuances, right? Like it's in front of us, but to the right, it comes at times that aren't necessarily so convenient. I always tell the story, like one of the highlights of my year is, the Momentum Men's Journey. This is the partner of the show. It's one of the highlights of my year. I look forward to it like you can't believe. When I get on that plane, when I land in Israel, when I have the opportunity, which I always hope I do, to be with the guys on the trip, like I go out of my mind. I have never once, ever, I usually fly on a Saturday night so I can get to Israel a day before the guys land on Monday. I get there Sunday evening. I have never in my life, in all the trips that I've done, got to that Friday before I leave and been like, oh, this is a good time. Every single time, I'm like, I can't go. Are you kidding me? Like, this kid needs me, or this business. And I've never once, ever rolled into the weekend before I had to leave that night and been like, wow, this is perfect timing. Every time in my back, I'm like, maybe it'll get canceled. Maybe we'll postpone it for a week. Like, I can't do it. I don't know how I'm going to get there. And then I land on Sunday afternoon. I'm like, oh, it's great. Do you know how many times in my personal life I had to go do something, and beforehand I'm like, I can't get it done. I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength. I don't have the ability. I don't have the time. Because it's in front of you at the most inconvenient time. You know how many guys I've spoken to that have said to me, I was gonna pull out, but because I gave my deposit, or because my wife made me, or because I bought the ticket, and I can't believe I almost missed this. When we look at life, we have to recognize that the things that are in front of us will be inconvenient. They will come at the wrong time. The opportunities that are coming our way will be at a time that feels wrong. It's because we don't really know what's right and wrong, because we can't see to the future. The illusion of validity, you remember that? I think like 15, 20 shows ago. Now, when it comes our way, here's what happens. We don't want to do it because it's going to require effort, and we are part of Earth. And Earth says, don't put in the effort. So there is a piece of us, a normal, if you're like this, you're normal. Welcome to being a human being. If you feel that you're about to do something and you don't want to do it, that's called being normal. Because you have Earth inside you, and Earth is the fundamental pillar of your life that says, nah, don't do that. It's too hard. Ugh. Chill out. You already worked already. How many hours did you put in? I mean, come on, it's crazy. I mean, like, come on. You need like 3-day weekend, because we can't survive on working for 5 days. It's too much. I mean, we're working at a mill. We're working in, at the Carnegie steel factories, yeah. It's hard to get up in the morning and do our lives. I'm not minimizing the modern world, but this is Earth. The voice of Earth in your head is the voice of you that says, come on, don't do that. So here's the rub. And here's how to fix it. We go through life. We have opportunities. Some of them are wasteful. Some of them aren't. They're packaged in challenge. And we have Earth. Opportunity, challenge, Earth. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's not going to work. You're too tired. Tomorrow morning, later. What do they need you for? They can't figure out themselves. You can't really do this. It's not going to actually matter. It won't really matter. They won't even know you're there. Really, they won't know you're there. Right? And what if it fails? Earth is you. And you are the best at rationalizing what you want. That's what we do for a living. If you would have to ask ourselves, like, what are the top 5 talents we have? I would say in the top 5 is rationalizing. We're excellent at rationalizing. Excellent. And we're built to rationalize because it's a cognitive bias. We are biased towards ourselves. We are biased We are programmed to not be in cognitive dissonance. And feeling like you're not enough is cognitive dissonance. So we're programmed to rationalize decisions in our benefit. And if you take our ability to rationalize and our inner core of being earthly, which was really the cover of lazy, or to say more fair, protective of our energy investment, that's like would be the survival way of looking at it. We need to survive. That's the program. Remember we spoke about surviving is the program that we have. Greatness is the program that we choose. So in the world of survival, you have to always be conserving energy. Just like you always have to be conserving food if you're in survival. So the program that we have that is built in us to survive really says conserve energy. Don't expend energy until you're about to fall. /earth. Conserve. Stay. Don't expend. You take that and you rationalize that, you win. You don't got to do anything. And so when the opportunity comes your way, it's up against a whole lot of stuff. And so many times we just don't jump in. Many times we pull out from growth way before we need to. Navy SEALs rule, 40%. We think we're going to like collapse. We only hit 40%. This is the breakdown of it. How do you do it? How do you deal with it? So here's where it comes. This is the rub. Zeal means you're fast acting. Zeal means, with common sense, obviously, when there's something to do, you don't ask, can I do it? You don't ask, do I have the energy to do it? You also don't ask, do I have the ability to do it? You just get up and do it. You're fast acting. You don't let opportunities go by you. I am well in this category. We should rather collapse than conserve. That should be our mentality, which is, I'm doing this. And if at the end of the day I collapse or fail, again, with common sense, I'd rather do that and then go back to my layer and say that was too much than to say that's too much before I even try. When the opportunity comes in for us, the great challenge that we have is that we think too much. Can I? That's not what someone with zeal does. Someone with zeal doesn't say, can I? Someone with zeal says, should I? Because he or she doesn't know if they can until it's over. But when you see it as a trait and not a judgment, it's a trait. You have to go out and employ zeal now. Not when I'm feeling it. I should do this. I'm doing it. That's what someone with zeal does. But, I got it. I'll fail. That's what life is, right? It's pushing yourself to failure and then growing the muscles to go further. But I'd rather fail and have zeal and be enthusiastic than not fail and not try. When we see the battle that takes place in our minds as the battle of challenge to opportunity versus earth, laziness, status quo, what we see is that the trait of zeal is its own unique muscle that we have to employ. We have to go to it. We don't know how to get there. So when we stand before the challenge, we tell ourselves, I can't make this call. Zeal. I'm going to zeal. Calling up zeal. We're doing it. Because now I am measuring myself based on my ability to be fast acting. And I am tracking my progress in the building out of this trait. And to build out a trait, I have to exercise the trait. And this is the way I exercise it. So it doesn't matter if I'm going to win or if I'm going to lose. That I have to work this trait out. I got to work this muscle. This is how I work the muscle. There's an opportunity. I got to do it because I got to work my zeal muscle. That's the beginning of it. And I think Rob, I didn't see the full thing that Rob just jumped in, but I'm guessing this is where he's going, which is the battle. I think this is where he went. The battle is won, not when you complete the action. Maybe we can talk about that in a different trait. In the trait of zeal, you get a check off zeal when you jump in. You already won when you show up with zeal, regardless of what happens next. All right, we'll continue this. Oh, tomorrow's Friday. So we'll do Q&A tomorrow for those who want. It's been a while since we did Q&A. Charlie@charlieharari.com. If you want anything else, a copy of whatever we're talking about, things like that, we can prepare that up for you. Or Q&A. So tomorrow, if you have questions, we'll answer it, especially with the area of zeal, enthusiasm. If you can't email me, you can leave it at whatever platforms that you're in, and we'll try to get it on for tomorrow's show. But we'll continue this until we nail it. First fast acting, then we'll move into maximum strength. Okay, have an awesome day. Try it today. Try it. Here's the exercise. I'll try it too. One thing we did today that we didn't want to do it just for zeal. Just for zeal. Just for that. One thing in today. Challenge that comes our way that we're too tired for. Just do it. And do it just to exercise the muscle of zeal. And then we'll continue building together. Have an awesome day. With God's help, I cannot wait to see you again tomorrow morning.